is up, guys? Dylan back here. I do not like the angle. Here we go. Okay. Now, first off, I just want to say that for anyone who watched my Rage video, I hope you enjoyed it. As I admit, it is pretty entertaining. It is pretty entertaining. But now, of course, in this video, there's a few topics I want to talk about in this video. First off, something needs to be discussed. I know now. Of course, some people are probably gonna look at that video I did last night and think, my God, that guy's crazy. I mean, it's just a game. Why is he going so crazy about that? And yes, I understand why some people think that, but look, I've been a sports fan my entire life. I've been watching sports since I was a little kid, and it's just, I'm passionate about sports, especially when it comes to my favorite teams. Because I want my teams to win championships, and one of my teams has not won a championship since 1998, and that was when the Tennessee Volunteers won the national championship. And I think I was 4 years old at the time, and so obviously, like I said, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series back in 1995. I was 2 years old at the time. I think I was 2. I was either close to it. I was either close to 2 or 2. Anyway, so back then, I was too young to remember all that. I mean, at 4 years old, all I cared about was Lunchables and having milk in my sippy cup. So now, I'm going to say this right now because there's going to be people who watch my video and get the wrong idea. And so, I'm going to say this right now. I'm not crazy. I knew what I was doing. Look, if you see me get mad and go in a rage on a video, I do have control of myself. You will look. There's people online where there is videos of people going mad and going crazy and breaking stuff, punching holes in the wall and breaking windows or whatever. You will never, ever see me do that. I will never, ever in a fit of rage, break something, punch a hole in the wall, break a window, whatever. Yes, I did throw something in my video, but, like I said, I knew what I was doing. I made sure to throw something that wouldn't break. So, but yeah, everything you saw in my video last night was for your entertainment. I did all that so that people could get a good laugh. Because I want people to enjoy my videos. Delicious Mountain Dew. But yes, everything that I did in my video last night was for your entertainment. So I just wanted to clear that up because I know there's going to be people who are going to be like, it's just a game. Why is he taking it so seriously? Well, it may be a game, but it may be a game, but but when it comes to sports, I'm passionate about it. So I just wanted to clear that up. And just assure people that I'm not crazy. I am a flawed human being. I'm not perfect, but I'm not crazy. I've made mistakes. I've made dumb decisions. But I'm not crazy. So that's the end of that discussion. All right, topic number 2. The Falcons got their first win yesterday. They fired Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff last week. So this week, Raheem Morris was the interim head coach, and yesterday the Falcons beat the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 40-23. And let me tell you, they look like a completely different team. I was looking at the score and everything else. I was like, where's this team been? I mean, seriously. I mean, it looked like a completely different team. Like, for example, on defense, the Falcons only had 2 interceptions coming into yesterday's game. On defense, they had 3 interceptions during the game yesterday. They were also getting sacks. They were also getting sacks on Kirk Cousins. And the defense didn't look confused on plays. They didn't give up as many big plays as they normally do on defense. And then on offense, not only that, the offense looked better. I mean, Matt Ryan was 30 for 40. By that I mean he completed 30 of 40 passes. I think he threw 370 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Julio Jones, who's been banged up this season, caught 2 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley caught a touchdown pass. And then Hayden Hurst caught a touchdown pass. Now, Todd Gurley didn't have as good of a game as he did last week, but he was still effective. So, now, like I said, Raheem Morris is the interim head coach, and Arthur Blank did say that depending on how the Falcons do the rest of the season, if the Falcons, play well for the rest of the season, then Arthur Blank did say that Raheem Morris would be a candidate for the head coaching job. So, like I said, Falcons got the Detroit Lions next week, so that's another winnable game. And so, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So, now, final topic I want to end this video on. I want to talk about the Braves. Now that I got all my rage out of my system, and I slept on it, and thought about, and had time to clear my head. Now, I just want to say, once I got all my rage out last night, I felt better. I mean, once I got it all out of my system, I wasn't mad anymore. I wasn't. Look, I got it all out of my system, and I felt better. But But let's face it. The Braves choked. The Braves choked. They choked the series away. The Braves were up 3-1. The Braves were up 3-1 in the series, and they just choked. They just choked this series away. To me, look, after the Braves won Game 4 in blowout fashion to go up 3-1, I felt pretty good. Now I knew the series wasn't over because I knew the Dodgers were good enough to come back in the series, but I was still feeling pretty good. But Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7 last night, the Braves had chances, and they could not hold on. Like, Game 5, Braves were up, at one point, Braves up 2-0. They blow a lead, and they end up losing 7-3. Last night, not last night, but Game 6, Braves go down 3-0 the first inning, end up losing 3-1. And the Braves had plenty of chances in that game. They left a lot of base runners on base. And then last night, alright, up 2-0, and then you blow the lead, and so it's tied 2-2, then you go up 3-2, but then you had some base running errors that kept the Braves from adding more runs. And so, the Braves ended up losing 4-3. And so, you can add another Atlanta choke. Because when it comes to Atlanta sports teams, and even Georgia sports teams, because I know the Georgia Bulldogs have choked, just a few years ago they choked the national championship away. So I truly think that the city of Atlanta, as far as sports is concerned, the city of Atlanta is cursed. You think about, let's think about it. All throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Braves were good. They were stinking good. 14 straight division titles. But out of all that, only one World Series. Now, they've been to the World Series plenty of times, but they only won one. But yeah, but then after 2005, the Braves wouldn't make the playoffs again for another 5 years. So after 2005, the Braves made the playoffs in 2010 as a wild card, and they were playing the San Francisco Giants in the NL Divisional Series, where they had a chance to go up 2-1 in the series against the Giants. Bobby Cox brings in a rookie, Craig Kimbrell, to close out the game because the Braves closer in 2010 was Billy Wagner, and he had pitched the previous game, but for some reason he decided to put in, at the time, rookie Craig Kimbrell to close out the game to try and get the Braves a 2-1 lead in the series. Well, at first he was doing good. He got the Braves within a strike of winning the game, but then the Giants took the lead. So then Braves lost that night, and then they lost the next game to lose the series. So, and then the next year, the Braves were the Braves didn't really lead the division any that year because the Phillies were really good. The Philadelphia Phillies were really good that year. But then they were leading the wild card for most of the year, and then at one point in September they had a commanding lead, like a big lead in the wild card, but then they go on a bad losing streak, and then their hitting slump. Which, I mean, overall the Braves hitting that year was not very good, but then the Braves blew the wild card lead to the Cardinals, so the Braves missed the postseason that year. So then the next year, Major League Baseball adds another wild card team to the National League and American League, and so now we have a wild card game to determine the wild card. Well, at this point. So the next year, the Braves play the Cardinals in the NL wild card game, and I want to say in that game the Braves committed 2 or 3 errors, but then I think it was in the 7th inning. The Braves had the bases loaded. But then came the controversial infield fly rule call made by the left field umpire, which in my opinion was a bad call. But I've gotten over it. But that game was being played in Atlanta. Fans were not happy, and so they were throwing trash onto the field. And so once the grounds crew was able to clean up the trash off the field, the game resumed, and the Braves ended up losing 6-3. So then the next year, the Braves make a big splash in free agency. They signed some big time free agents. In a win now kind of mode. So that year, in 2013, the Braves won the division, go to the playoffs. But then they lose to the Dodgers in the NLDS. So, and then after that, the Braves didn't make the playoffs for another 5 years after that because a couple of years after that, the Braves were starting to go in rebuild mode after that. And so, in 2018, which